What's happening at the border right now is absolutely sickening. We are seeing stories about pregnant mothers who are entangled in the razor wire that Gregg Abbott's DPS troopers have deployed along the banks of the Rio Grande, having miscarriages. Young children who are pushed back into the river as we see temperatures spike over 100 degrees consistently day after day. People, including young children, drowning in the Rio Grande River as they attempt to seek asylum in this country, looking for refuge because they cannot return to the places from which they came. We are so much better than this, but we're not going to get it from Gregg Abbott and from the current leadership in Texas.
I want to talk about the Texas Department of Public Safety.
That this governor has done over and over again is treated this situation that we're seeing at the border in an inhumane way. It is atrocious, the actions that he decides to take. He takes this, instead of dealing with this issue in a way that we can get to a resolution or working together, he turns it into a political stunt. And that's what we have seen. I can't speak to conversations 3 weeks ago with the Mexican government. I don't have any information to share on if that came up in a conversation, but this is not surprising. This is not surprising. Just yesterday, I was asked about abandoning children, migrant children, not offering them water. This is what we see over and over and over again from this Texas governor, from Governor Abbott, and it is all we're asking for, all we as a country, and what we should hold near and dear is the basic human decency, and we are just not seeing this from this governor.
Now, state troopers facing serious allegations on the Texas-Mexico border.
They're accused of pushing migrants back into the river and denying them any drinking water. The Texas Department of Public Safety shared an email from a trooper medic to a supervisor expressing concerns over the treatment.
The reality is that they're killing kids down here.
As it relates to any legal action, that's something that Department of Justice is going to certainly look into or has to deal with. As it relates to the indecent, inhumane way that migrants are being taken, the actions that are being taken against them, I can continue to condemn them here, right? And we've done that in the most strongest terms, and so I'll just leave it from there at the moment.
Now I hear all these Republicans talk about how they believe in a culture of life. Does a culture of life include having a woman be pushed back into the fucking river where she had a forced abortion when she miscarried her baby? How about the family that got pushed in where 2 of the kids died? The mother died too. And one of the kids was never found.
Is shameful, and it has to stop.
A trooper medic with the Department of Public Safety emailed his concerns to a supervisor.
Pushing kids back into the water, putting razor wire around buoys to create drowning devices.
Texas congressional Democrats are speaking out on the alleged inhumane incidents troopers were ordered to do, including denying medical treatment to migrants suffering cuts due to the razor wire and nursing children and mothers drowning.
They got razor wire in the water to stop families. Oh, well, we gotta stop them coyotes. What a bunch of bullshit.
Texas congressional Democrats and Senator Roland Gutierrez is calling for a Justice Department investigation for violating U.S. laws.
That's not why people come. That's not how people come. That is made up horse shit so that you can believe, oh, we're doing right by these people. Bull fucking shit. People aren't paying coyotes. That is horse pucky.
As Governor Gregg Abbott continues to deny doing anything wrong, some are calling for criminal charges. In Houston, Gerald Harris, KHOU 11 News.
What I can say is what I know and how this governor has treated migrants. Instead of dealing with the situation in a way that we can actually have results, he's used this in a political stunt, and that's shameful, and we're going to continue to condemn that. We're going to continue to call that out.
To hear Gregg Abbott tell it, it costs $6,000 for a coyote. Who the fuck in Mexico has $6,000 and is coming up here for a job? Get the fuck out of here. It's made up crap.
A Texas state trooper who alleges that state troopers were under orders to deny migrants water, instructed to push migrants back into the water to send them back to Mexico. The Texas Department of Public Safety says it is investigating the allegations.
There is no justification for pushing children back into the river. There is no justification for not supplying water to somebody in Texas. Look at my face. I've had the goddamn air conditioner running in here for 45 minutes so I could do this fucking video, and it's hot as Hades. You know why? Because it's fucking 115 degrees outside, y'all.
You said that what the Texas Governor Abbott is doing along the border is criminal. What do you mean by that?
Everything that he's doing right now, especially around Eagle Pass, is illegal. Placing a floating barrier, for example. It's a series of buoys that are connected with netting underwater. It's effectively a drowning device. The governor and the head of Texas DPS have admitted as much and have said, well, maybe this will deter people from even trying to cross. They've also placed barrels wrapped in razor wire under the surface of the river. Migrants and asylum seekers are becoming entangled and entrapped in this. And as you pointed out, DPS troopers are literally pushing those migrants, including children and infants, back into the river in exposed conditions where the temperature's been over 100 degrees, not for days, but for weeks.
Because it's fucking hot as hell down here. But no. Gregg Abbott doesn't give a fuck about those people.
And to protect the lives of these asylum seekers who literally have no other place to go. And one last important thing. The last time I saw you in person, Jose, in El Paso, was just after the massacre in El Paso, Texas, August 3rd, 2019. 23 people ultimately were killed by a man who was compelled to come to this community to stop, in his own words, the Hispanic invasion of Texas. When we militarize the border and when we treat defenseless, vulnerable refugees as though they're an invading army, we supercharge these white nationalist terrorists who do things like the murder in El Paso in 2019. So the president must step in. I know that he wants to. I know that he can. Sometimes it just takes public pressure to get someone like President Biden to do the right thing. And so I'm asking my fellow Americans to step up and join me in asking the president to step in and do something in Texas and do it now.
Gregg Abbott never did. They are brown. That's where we are. And you people can pretend that that's not what it is, but you bet your ass if the girl that was pushed back into the river was named Brandy, it would be a fucking national outrage and the Marines would be down here right now. And you fucking know it's true.
Buoys that are in the middle of the Rio Grande River channel, clearly illegal. Under the purview of the International Boundary and Water Commission, those have to be pulled up immediately. Again, those are drowning devices. And mark my words, people will drown because they have been placed in the river channel. Remove the razor wire that's on the river banks that's impeding Customs and Border Protection, the Border Patrol agents, from doing their job of securing and protecting the border and also rendering humanitarian aid. That is part of their job mission, and they're unable to do it. An internal CBP memo that has recently been revealed shows that DPS troopers, these are Abbott's people, are preventing federal Border Patrol agents from doing their job. So there's a clear conflict here. Everyone understands that's the law in the United States of America, and President Biden must enforce that law. And we clearly expect him to do that. I think ultimately he will, but sooner the better, because people's lives are at stake.
This shit is wrong. There's no justification for it. And clearly, those so-called Christian conservatives are not conservative, and they are not Christian. Texas was founded by Mexicans, y'all. Fuck you, Gregg Abbott. You may you burn in hell, you piece of shit.
And again, just within one county, Maverick County, near Eagle Pass, Texas, we have lost 26 migrants and asylum seekers so far. More will die if the president does not step in.
BETO, what is the solution? How can we as a country deal with the fact that there are people who do anything just for the opportunity to request asylum?
That's absolutely right. No one does this for kicks. A 2,000-mile journey, much of it on foot, some of it atop and not inside of a train called La Bestia or the Beast. and then braving the deep river waters of the Rio Grande River Channel, this razor wire, these floating buoys, not to escape or evade, but to turn themselves in and to lawfully and legitimately and orderly claim asylum so that they can come here, work, improve their lives, but also improve all of our lives in this country by their very presence. That is the story of America. And I'll tell you what, Joe Biden as a candidate in 2020 was absolutely passionate and eloquent on this issue. And now I want Joe Biden, the president of the United States, to live up to those words and to that commitment.
They know they can't build a wall across the Texas border. So they're going to build it out of fucking bubbles, concrete, and razor wire. To stop the fucking 4-year-old girls? What the fuck? Gregg Abbott, roll your little ass down to the border and push your little girl back into the river yourself. I'm Zachariah, Lone Star Liberal. Fuck the Republicans. Fuck them. Y'all take it easy.